All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Wow.
It's finally here.
We're doing this, guys. I'm kind of hyped because this is one of the most ridiculous shows I've ever heard of, and we know so much about the meme power that this show holds. But we don't know anything about it, really. I mean, we've seen like images here and there. We've seen GIFs of things, but we don't know what we're getting into. I don't know what JoJo's even means. Is that like the powers? Is that like characters or something?
I think it's the main character.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I get it, but JoJo's doesn't actually sound like a legit name. So I'm like... it's going to be ridiculous. Anything that you would like to say before we start?
I'm just really excited. I'm really happy that JoJo's won.
Right. So Patreon supporters at every level voted in a poll between this show and 9 other shows. And this show barely beat out the other 2 contenders at the top 3 and won the poll. So now, from now on, until we finished not only the show, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, like the season, essentially, but all of JoJo's, we'll be doing that. So that'll be quite an epic ride. So if you're ready to get started with us, let's get into it.
Whoa.
Dang.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Super dead. Fabulous hair though. Oh, there's a baby. No.
Is this when our great hero is born?
Special briefcase. Ah, plot device.
Yeah.
Oh, holy crap. Right.
DIO ブランドと言いやす。
ミスターブランド。このジョースター。決して。
I feel like this is an origin story, you know?
Yeah.
Holy crap. Holy crap.
Okay.
12 years later. Oh my gosh, here we go.
Here we go. Our main character.
Yes.
DIO 俺はもう長いことはねえ。わかるんだ。俺が死んだらこの手紙を出してアテナのところへ。ジョースター家へ行け。こいつは俺に恩があるんだ。
Right.
Ha! Wait.
Okay.
Are these the legendary poses we've heard so much
yes.
about?
誰だろう。あ、君はディオブランドだね。
そういう君はジョナサン・ジョースター。
みんなジョジョって呼んでるよ。これからよろしく。ダニー。
Jeez.
何をするんだ、ユルさん。
こいつがジョースター家の跡継ぎ。
What?
What the hell?
金も人もすべて持った坊ちゃん面だな。
Aren't they like 13 though?
行く行くわこのディオが。
I don't think the age is important.
Yeah.
一体何事かね。
すみません。急に犬が飛びかかってきたのでとっさに。
ようこそディオ君。今から君は私たちの家族だ。諸君、このディオブランド君は私の命の恩人のご子
Now they're
息だ。
forced to be brothers. Oh, jeez.
ジョジョ、お前それでも紳士か。
Dio's gonna steal his life.
Right.
Right.
も とジョジョの食器を下げたまえ。今晩は食事抜きだ。ディオが来てからお前を甘やかしていたのを悟った。親として恥ずかしい。ディオの作法は完璧だぞ。
彼が家に来てから僕の生活はめちゃめちゃ孤独だ。
Except Danny.
ダニー、お前だけはディオが何したって僕の友達だよね。
Unless, of course, Dio kills him.
Oh.
誰だ今の女の子。どこかで会ったことあるような気もする。
Wow.
Oh boy.
僕のハンカチ。そうか。ブドウありがとう。ねえ、明日もここにいるから君もおいでよ。黙ってたったの一言も言わないで。女の子って可愛いな。
One more thing for Dio to ruin.
その素敵な好奇心が
Yeah, you're right. Oh no.
二人はたちまち友達になり、ジョジョは彼女に夢中になった。
A million sparkles in the water.
Right. エリナ・ペンドルトン、なんて可愛らしいんだろう。
ジョジョ、何を掘ってるの？まあ、ジョジョったらいけない人知らない。
じゃあね、バイバイ。
Of course. Given how dark he is, it's like there could be some really messed up things he does here.
君、もうジョジョとキスはしたのかい？まだだよな。初めての相手はジョジョではない。このディオだ。
バカな。
手段は問題ではない。キスをしたという結果があればいい。これでジョジョとの仲も終わりになる。
I love how they were making it seem like it was going to be something more than that, but then it's
Right.
like, I saw the first kiss.
見ろ、こいつ一体こいつ一体何考えてんだ。泥水で口を洗っているぞ。頭おかしいんじゃねえか。近くに川もあるのによ。
Oh, she could get sick.
わざと泥で洗って自分の意志を示すか。
Oh crap. No, you didn't. No, you did not.
くそ、このディオともあろうものがたかが女ごときに。もういい、行こう。
Oh my god! The fire in his eyes.
Yeah,
the
crazy
shaky cam.
transitions.
随分気安く呼んでくれるじ
Oh.
ゃないか。
決して許さない。君の僕に対する嫌がらせではない。僕のこと
Oh
なら
my gosh.
ほほう、さては聞いたな。あの愛しのエリナのことを、そして鉄拳による報復に出ることを考えたわけか。
彼女に対する侮辱が許さない。
苦しいぞ、嫉妬に狂った姿。来い。いいぞ、いい感触だ。こいつ、蹴りを入れられて掴んでくるとは。
Impossible.
もう一撃欲しいか。
Oh.
Yeah.
こんな君が泣くまで殴るのをやめない。こんな
Holy crap.
にこのディオが。
And this is all in the first episode.
Right? Oh crap. This is the bizarre part.
Yep. It thirsts for blood.
Right?
よくもよくも。
That's what happened in the previous one as well. The previous time.
涙。
この汚らしいアホが。
Holy crap!
見事だ。
父さん。
Oh.
男子たるもの喧嘩の一つもするだろう。しかしジョジョ、今のは抵抗もできなくなっ
Of
たデ
course.
ィオ。
Of course.
あの箱何やら。まあいいか。メイドの誰かが捨てたんじゃろ。
What?
な
What is that?
このぶつかるような音はまさか中に誰かいるのだ大変だ生きたまま焼かれているのだ
Or is it the mask, maybe?
エリナクソディオお前のくだらないキスはこれを狙っていたのなら予想以上の効果を上げたぞ
あまりにひどい亡きだったのでお前には見せずに
What?
埋葬したよ
Wait.
警察が言うにはおそらく番犬が邪魔な
Oh no!
ということ
No!
Are you
You
serious?
killed a dog!
まだ学校から帰っておりませんが
Did that just
ジ
happen?
ョジョは
Yep.
自分の部屋へ行き
Wow.
2時間眠ったそして目を覚ましてからしばらくしてダニーが死んだことを思い出し泣いた
You killed the dog.
バカ犬
All
の殺し
Yeah.
bets are off. Now it's
He didn't just kill it, he burned it alive.
yeah.
見くびっていた奴は叩けば叩くほど成長するタイプだ
What, like a Super
自
Saiyan
分
or
の欠
something?
点は怒りっぽいところだ反省しなくては
I must become a full
自分の心
sociopath.
を冷静にコン
Right.
トロールするように成長しなくては
そして7年の歳月が経過する
Okay.
So,
Um.
I was expecting something, you know,
Very
bizarre,
different.
but that...
Okay. So, is it weird to be disgusted and humored in the same
Yeah, because,
story?
like, the stuff they do is, like...
It's so dramatic.
Yeah,
and
it's so
over the
dramatic and
top
over the top and just evil and terrible, but at the same
stylized
time,
and-
but it's so like
It's so twisted.
they do
so,
it to such a degree, it almost seems like they're making fun of it.
but to an extent, you can tell that they're not ever gonna let this up. Like this
Oh,
is
right.
their
This is-
style.
yeah, this is their thing.
So
This is
I
what
think
they're
it's
going for.
it's meant to be taken completely seriously by those that want to delve deep into the story. But if you want to look at it from like an analytical perspective, there's all kinds of things to where
They're doing it to make you laugh.
they're
at the
doing
same
it.
time.
They're doing not doing it to make you laugh, but doing it to evoke specific
Sure.
emotions.
Okay, yeah.
And
All right.
they make sure that they let you know which emotion you're supposed to feel at
Mm-hmm.
specific moments by the story being
Yes.
so dramatic at specific
Yes,
instances.
absolutely.
Dude, this Dio guy, he shows up, and I get that he wants to steal his life,
But, like-
he does everything he can to take a dump on this
Yeah.
JoJo, Jonathan Joestar guy.
So
And of course, everyone is a complete idiot and buys
Yes.
the whole thing. Just
Oh, boy.
gobbles that all right up. And even his dad, George Joestar,
right.
just as well. I see this as going like so over the top that like George Joestar, the dad, that's gonna be his final revenge. Is he's gonna end up like having the dad die and give his entire inheritance to Dio.
Right.
So
yeah.
George's days are numbered.
Yes,
One, because
absolutely.
he's stupid, but
Yes.
two, because I really
Yeah.
feel like this is the
That's-
beginning of an ultimate underdogs like.
I would.
He has to get rebooted.
Yeah,
Essentially.
it's like a combination of the underdog thing with like a revenge story.
Yes,
like-
but they haven't begun the revenge plot
Yeah,
yet.
but-
So
but-
what it's gonna be is this Jonathan Joestar is he's gonna go through a bizarre adventure at some point. And this is his origin story,
Sure.
and then once he starts that bizarre adventure, he's gonna be rebooted as a character essentially who's gonna be more, worldly and awesome, and
Yeah.
he's gonna become this like just epic main character kind of thing.
Right.
And that I think they're overemphasizing the childish aspects of him
Yes,
now,
absolutely.
in
It's-
mirroring it
yeah.
with Dio's childish aspects as well.
This is a great example of aggressive character introduction.
Yes.
They are doing it to such a
Yes.
degree that it's ridiculous.
So
and
ridiculous.
You almost just can't take it seriously, but because that's the vibe the show is going for.
Exactly.
They like look at how much they were able to do in the first episode. Like that's ridiculous.
They jumped around through time quite a bit to give
Yep.
you the sense that there's a connection between these two boys, as if fate is bringing them together.
That this is an epic story, and
Right,
it's
and
going
we're
to be
seeing,
told and stuff
and
like
we're
that.
seeing just the beginnings, and all the fans who have watched like however many episodes of JoJo's there are are seeing like, this is the start of it all right here. This epic tale. Now the question is, what's this mask thing? It interacts with blood.
It interacts with blood. It grows spikes.
It comes from before the family, like the 1800s and stuff. So George probably knows what it is.
Now the spikes seemed like they're meant to basically trap it on
someone's head. Yeah, exactly.
So that once they put it on, they can't get it off.
Right, but it's also piercing, which means probably punctures the skin and draws blood from the wearer.
Some sort of like crazy like.
Yeah, I see it as kind of a plot device thing for powering up someone, but also carrying with it a great price.
Kind of you know what it reminds me of? The Orbalisks.
Orbalisks, for those of you that have read the Darth Bane series for the Star Wars Expanded Universe, that looks like a single Orbalisk, but
with a creative spin on it,
exactly.
Made to look like a mask, but
the faces in one aspect could be a hint towards what this masks thing is, because everyone's face in this has that kind of dramatic, just attractive, very angular, like very specific features, and yet they all have the same kind of vibe. They don't look the same, which is good. This isn't no A1 Pictures crap or anything like that, but they give off that same vibe. So what if you removed, say, the beauty of someone in order to give them power? But this mask kind of gets this like twisted, like you saw it change, right?
I think maybe?
No, it changed.
Okay.
When it got the blood from the punch of epic JoJo resolve, it had this deformity that was where the blood was, I think.
Now, okay, one thing I just want to point out that I absolutely loved when they did this. Okay, all the transitions where it would like zoom in on something,
Yes.
and it's way overemphasizing things. Those were all amazing. But there was one point that stood out to me. It's when JoJo is running to go into the house to beat up Dio, and it's all doing all this crazy stuff. But there's a part where when they show the door, the frame that they use for the door is actually looked like what it would have been in the normal frame when you see the house.
Sure.
But it was just zoomed up on the door because the door was really lack of detail, like it was just a blown up a little bit of that picture. And I loved that because it's
almost pixelated.
Yeah, like they were doing something so intentionally kind of what would traditionally be bad, right? But they are owning it. They are doing it to the max and just
yeah, to another extent, there's the possibility, Jacob, that we're so unfamiliar with old style animation from, the 80s and stuff, because this show started
this is I think
this is a reboot.
The manga started in the 80s, and I think there were some OVAs or something that were like they're really old or whatever, and then this is like a reboot.
Okay, so this has a lot more updated visuals, and it gives us that same thing, which is actually funny. I kind of made an A1 Pictures joke, and I don't even know what studio actually does JoJo's. I couldn't tell you based on the style because I've never seen this style done before. So
I haven't either.
It's kind of interesting. If anything, it gives me a little bit of a vibe of I would say a little bit of a Bones vibe. Not a lot, but I could see it being Bones. I could see it being Bones or Madhouse. I don't think it's Madhouse in particular, but I could see it being Bones with that kind of Soul Eater kind of intro thing going on.
Sure.
Soul Eater is weird like that, but I would say this is so unique. I don't even care what the studio is because this just is so ridiculously fun to just watch.
Oh yeah.
Like, why would you I think the joke I've heard is that JoJo's you can take a screenshot of almost anything and it's funny, but why would you want to? This show is so much fun to just see in motion.
Yeah, it is.
It's ridiculous.
And if you and if you think about the
it's bizarre.
It's absolutely bizarre. But they did certain things in this first episode that were that they just sort of went through really quickly. Yes. And even the thing like you were saying JoJo's punch of resolve or whatever.
Right.
That if we're talking Bleach or something, that would take 2 whole episodes just to get to that part. Right. But that was after 20 seconds of them fighting.
Yes.
So major props to them for doing that.
Yeah, I think that's something that they're setting the pace for with the actual pacing of this episode, in that this is an origin story, and yet they're just gonna blaze right through it. No real chaff to kind of muddy things down. If anything, little parts with them bumping into bullies and little like dumb kids on the trails and stuff like that, that adds to the theme that Jonathan Joestar's life is being taken away by Dio very methodically.
Yeah.
Almost to the point where that chess thing makes me think, like, is Dio some kind of, like... Mastermind genius? Because everyone loves to make the villains play chess. It's like,
exactly. Like,
it's like, come on, guys! Why can't regular people play chess and not be villains? Like, come on.
Or just have people play chess and not be very good. Like,
that too.
anytime you show chess being used in a story, it's because the person's some kind of super genius, right? As opposed to someone who's just being like, yeah, I like playing chess, but, you know, they're not that great.
What's this pawn to d4? What?
Oh, boy. One of the... Okay, so, but when I made that comment about it being kind of like the Count of Monte Cristo, but like
inverted.
Like inverted.
What did you mean by that?
Oh, well, basically, so in Count of Monte Cristo, you have Fernand who has everything but has nothing, right? And he feels like
you're talking about the movie specifically.
Yes. Okay, the movie specifically, yeah. But he feels like Edmond stole everything from him.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And Edmond came from nothing, but was, but it was like part of the family.
Right. In this case, it's completely reversed. It's
completely reversed, where instead it's the same kind of thing, except the rich guy is the good guy, and the poor person is really about as bad as you can get. Like,
I really wonder how much time we'll actually have with this Dio Brando guy, because when I think about him, he fits that kind of bully trope. But he's so ridiculously like kicks puppies trope. Like they did that like right in the beginning. Yeah. And he's also fabulous. Like the way he jumps out of the carriage, he's like, whoa. Yeah. He lands. There's a little gust of air around him.
Yeah.
He's got that part where he's the magnificent bastard, but I'm not rooting for this guy.
Totally not. Yeah.
Right. I'm not rooting for this guy at all.
No.
But my question is, if they keep him around enough, are they going to eventually make us root for him?
Well, this seems almost like the envy thing, where they build up an antagonist so that when they get taken down, it
feels very good. I think that's probably going to be the thing, because that fits in line with JoJo going through a lot of character development.
Right.
Because when I see JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and then I see this kid, I go, okay, he needs character development. Let's put him on a bizarre adventure.
Right.
He gets kicked out of the house. His dad dies. His dog dies. His girl maybe even dies. I don't know.
Right. The whole
things
estate
go
gets passed
wrong.
on to his
Dio
nemesis.
sits there and he's like, yes, my opulence and everything I've done was all according to Keikaku.
But then he realizes that his life has no meaning if he doesn't have a rival to do battle
Right, exactly. With. And JoJo still exists out there.
So he must crush him.
I must crush every bit of hope.
Just because he's the main character and I hate him and I'm the bad guy.
Well, there's that. But maybe to an extent, his father told him some things when he said, okay, what's this debt? Why do you owe anything to them? And then he finds out maybe that his dad's life was ruined by that whole encounter at the carriage. I don't know. There's all kinds of weird things they could do. I'm just wondering if they're going to provide context in the future to a character like Dio, because I think that's one of the things that stories like to do. Is they give these dramatic character introductions, and then they give little bits of context, and then JoJo becomes more likable. Hell, maybe even Dio becomes a little bit more likable, but I doubt it. I doubt it.
No amount of context could do that.
Burning a puppy alive.
Yeah, but here's what they could potentially try and do. Is they go the route of, but as the story goes on, because if all this happened in the first episode, then who knows where the show will be 20 episodes from now, right?
Oh,
it could
good point.
It could be like way like somewhere else. So they could basically have Dio go on his own anti-hero sort of redemption arc of.
Yeah, they liked doing the parallel story thing.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll do that thing where they keep jumping between Dio and JoJo as they go through their story, effectively slowing down the pace a little bit, but not so much that it's dramatically slower than what they're showing right now.
Yeah, but like with how they've set up Dio just in this episode, there are some problems with trying to do a redemption arc for a character.
Oh,
like
seriously,
that.
this
Like,
isn't a.
This
What's the meme? So Dio did nothing wrong, kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's gonna be all these defenders in the comments who will be like, "Yeah, Dio's actually really just misunderstood."
Yes, he's misunderstood. Oh boy, it's that whole thing of if the villain is attractive, then they're misunderstood.
Right.
Yeah.
To an extent, though, Dio could become an interesting character with a, like, I know he deserves certain things, but there's an aspect to a character when they go through any kind of development. Like, let's say JoJo goes through some development, right? Mm-hmm. And he learns the art of being at peace with oneself. And the past
Zen.
is the past. Yeah, he comes into a Zen place, and it just pisses off Dio at some point because he's like, no, you should be angry at me for the things I did. And he's like, no, I'm not. And Dio just mentally breaks down and has to go through his own, kind of bizarre adventure.
Possibly. I'm just going to say, I already find Dio very interesting. I find just about every aspect of the show interesting because this is so... I'm not going to say it, but it's so different, right, that I don't know what to expect.
Right?
Like,
right?
This next episode, given
could
what they did
anything.
in just this episode, the next episode could be anything.
Right?
They could be in Antarctica or something like that. Like...
No idea.
Yeah.
And that's maybe a cool thing for us, Jacob, because we're pretty good at predicting and kind of plotting an analytical course for a story's general direction.
Yeah.
And with this show, we basically get an open-ended book of an origin story of two boys that are polar opposites from each other. One's confident, one's shy, one's magnetic, one's kind of a doofus. Yeah. One's kind of innocent, one is worldly. One is a complete psycho in every sense of the word, and the other one is just kind of reactive and naive,
like Edmond Dantes. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So maybe that's what they were going for when they came up with this, is they said, all right, I'm going to take a bunch of my flavor, like whoever wrote this, and they go, all right, I'm going to get some inspiration from some other stories. There's some pretty good ones, but then I'm not going to make it like any other story you've ever experienced before, and thus now we have the meme that is JoJo's.
Well, yeah, because if you think about it, if it started in the 80s,
I think it was 87 according to one of the Discord members.
87. It's 2017 right now.
30 years old. Wow.
Like,
and it's kind of still going, right?
I think they are waiting on a fifth season.
I think they've probably gone through a lot of long hiatuses, but it's a question of like, do they release like
a reboot?
Right? Do they release like mini OVAs every once in a while to keep people enticed? Like,
I don't know.
How do they do this?
I have heard,
because when I looked at Crunchyroll, there were like 4 sections of JoJo's, and they were all named different things.
Right, and I remember hearing some stuff that basically a lot of the JoJo's fans are very upset that the studio, and again I don't know the studio that actually did this, but that they ended up like doing, they took a break from JoJo's and did something else, and they were like, just give us season 5 already. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, well, guys, we did it. We started JoJo's. If you want to see the next episode's reaction, check out our Patreon link in the description below, and you can watch our episode 2 early access reaction right now. Kind of psyched to watch it. It's gonna be pretty crazy. Okay, guys, so this is fun. We'll see you again next time, but until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.